One. Happy podcasting, guys. Cameron here with the WOFB podcast. I'm so excited. We are starting season 3 this episode. It's all about breaking boundaries, women shaping the future of tile. And on this first episode of season 3, I have the biggest baller hitter in the industry that I'm interviewing today. I'm going to be with Erin from J&R Tile. If you do not know her, guys, you are about to know her. As you know, this podcast is proudly presented by WOFB and sponsored by my company, Cameo Studio Designs, and also the one and only Materials Laddercrete. And by the way, guys, if you are a DIYer, enthusiast, a contractor, or a tile expert, and planning your next tile project or tackling something even big like a renovation, ensure a successful installation each and every time with the most comprehensive assortment installation each and every time is through the innovation of Laddercrete, guys. Those materials, those guys are so amazing from start to finish. If you have not used their products yet, you are missing out. So Laddercrete has all of your adhesive grouts and waterproofing needs. So we will talk more about some Laddercrete at the end of this podcast today. Guys, I cannot even keep how amazing and fun this is going to be today with our Texan. Love her. She is like baller. She's the owner of J&R Tile. She is heavily involved in the architectural and development communities and is known for her work partnering directly with clients. I think she's going to have so much to talk with us about today. Erin has quickly established herself as a thought leader in the tile industry and has design builds throughout the city. I cannot wait for her to tell us about this picture in the background that I have pulled up. She is also the founder of Ceramic Tile Education Foundation in Texas, Ceramic Tile Education Foundation Board of Directors. She is through the NTCA State Director for Texas. She's an NTCA education and a part of the training committee. She is also NTCA Thin Porcelain Tile Subcommittee. She has a master's in education, guys. She is like a master's in tile, PhD. I can't even withhold anymore. Erin, here you are, girl. Welcome.
Howdy. What an intro. Thank you so much for having me.
I love it when you say howdy. So, Erin, for those that are listening, let's give them a good picture, a clear picture. So I stalked your website and I found this amazing mural, and that is the background today, but it's the mural that you guys did. Can you tell the listeners, paint us the picture of what this was like?
So what you're seeing is a project we have here in San Antonio. It's San Pedro Creek Culture Park. And what we did was, it's 4 blocks long. It's 4 city blocks long, downtown San Antonio. And they selected artists from the community to present paintings that are representing the history and culture of San Antonio and the particular creek that you see this mural on. And a small painting was stretched out into 150 foot long by, I can't remember, I think 20 feet high, maybe 15 feet high, giant mural that's lit up at night. We work with a company out of Florida, Cameron, Digital Tile Artisans. Dave and his team, we've done quite a few of these murals, and you can actually see the brush strokes from the artist because it's a replica of the canvas that they painted. And what they do is scale that out and put them on either 8x8 or 12x12 porcelain tile so it can withstand the elements and go exterior. So this is over a giant concrete wall over the creek. And the most fun part is there were a lot of architectural pauses during this because archaeologists kept pulling out cannonballs and all sorts of crazy things. Right. We had archaeologists on site. We had to stop work a lot of times because of the artifacts we were pulling out of the creek. It shows water in the picture, but it was dry when we were doing the tile portion of the work. So it was very interesting, the stop-start motion, just from the artifacts we were finding in the creek. they're numbered and come in boxes individually. We had to produce samples, lots of grout matching colors, as you can imagine, right? Grout selection was a big deal. And these 4 city blocks span with these giant tile custom murals made by San Antonio local artists. So it's a really special project.
Yeah, I could tell. I mean, as soon as I saw it, I looked through all of your pictures, but that one for me was that one sang something special. And I think
That's the
anytime that
money
there's
shot. That's the website landing page. Yeah, we like that one.
I do. I think that anytime though that there's tile and that install and art that is like immersed in community, it speaks volumes because like a lot of architects and visionaries, whenever we go into either an urban area or a drab space and it's concrete and it's all of these things, and then you start to add a story, and then especially through tile, mosaic, and things like it just changes the whole trajectory of that space. So great job. It's so beautiful.
Thank you.
So
Team did the team. Team did a great job. It was an interesting scaffolding project. We look very small. If you put a person next to that mural, you look tiny. It's huge.
I'm sure. It looks massive. So Erin, I know that there's a lot of people in the industry who know who you are, and some of our people that are listeners are definitely in the industry, but some of them are business industry, some of them are lighting designers, and so they don't know who Erin is. They don't know who J&R Tile is. Most of us do know like who you are in the industry, and you are a voice. You are, a woman who does stand in her power. You inspire me every day, and I'm sure many others. But can you talk us through what inspired you to pursue in commercial tile, in tile, where you are today? Like, what was that drive for you?
It started off when I was a little Erin. I always had a love for construction and working with my hands. I grew up in a really rural community. There's more cows than people. That's what I tell people where I'm from. Very, very small Polish community where the energy of the community, the worth that you have has a lot to do with what you can do with your hands. If it's broken, you fix it, right? You figure it out. And I have had a lot of experience growing up with Johnny. The J&R Tile, right, was started by Johnny and Raymond Katara. That's my stepfather who raised me, and my uncle. So there were always projects happening at the ranch. We're building sheds, pouring concrete. He would do side jobs, with tile and stone in our area. And I was his little bucket girl. When I was in kindergarten, I got a toolbox for Christmas with my own little hammer and saw and tools. And they have me on video camera saying, well, this is just the best Christmas there ever was. Right. So like, I was like wired this way from when I was a little girl. I've just always loved it. And, as time progressed, I went into high school and I'm taking shop classes, right? Welding barbecue pits. I've always loved construction. And, this is a family business. We're celebrating 40 years this year at J&R Tile. And when my family let me know that they were fixing to retire, I was teaching and coaching at a large high school here in San Antonio, but I was working with my family in the summer. So I decided, hey, it's time. I'd rather be doing this anyway. And I came and worked with my family for a while before I purchased the business. And now they're back out at the ranch building she sheds and having projects. Like, they haven't stopped working, because that's the culture where I'm from, right? That's what you do. You get dirty and you work. So I've loved it. I've loved it all my life, and a specific interest in tile and stone because it's a beautiful finish trade, right? Tile and stone are permanent finishes. And just like you were saying, Cameron, there is such craftsmanship in a hard surface material as a finish, and so many different varieties and textures and patterns and sizing and all of the things that can be put into the display that is that finished product.
Right.
I've just been in love with it since I was a little girl.
Yeah. I mean, I can tell. I knew that there was an education, like love for you, that for you, it emulates like who you are. It matters. It matters that you're doing the things that you need to do to have a successful quality installation. And I don't know if I've ever shared this with you before, but the very first time that I ever saw you, I was actually walking across the floor at one of the shows. I don't remember which one it was. It was Coverings of Tice, and I heard this voice talking in this way on this stage in front of all these people. And so I stop and I look and I'm like, whoa, who is that? And it was you. And you were like going off about warranties and all of the, if you're not following this and you're not doing it, I don't remember all of it, but I remember
it was surfaces. Yep.
It was about warranties, and it was about making sure, you're doing what you need to be doing, because if not, those warranties are not going to secure your installation and whatnot. And now here we are today, fast forwarding, and we've had many conversations about many different things in the industry, but I know that education is important to you, skills, techniques. And so I think it's really important for people to know all of these skills and techniques. But for you, what are some skills and techniques that set commercial tile installation apart from that residential work?
The big thing on commercial versus residential, Cameron, is something I learned from a construction consultant a long time ago. We're a finished trade, right? We come in at the end. And in commercial construction, mechanical, right? HVAC, plumbing, mechanical is what they call the critical path. And all construction schedules in commercial are based on, for the listeners that don't know, CPM schedules. That stands for critical path method. So as you're looking at the schedule, the mechanical contractors have a schedule. If they run behind, the entire schedule gets pushed. The first 20% of the project depends on the mechanical contractor meeting his schedule. Otherwise, you've got a finish date, and the rest of it is going to be accelerated for companies like ours. And one of the biggest mistakes, Cameron, that most commercial companies make is when their schedule is compressed or accelerated, that comes at a cost that they're not charging for. Anytime a schedule changes, that's not how you bid it. That is not how you bid that job. That is not how you plan for that job, and you should be compensated accordingly for it. For that. So I think that compression and acceleration at the end of a commercial project is really what separates it from the residential, which is more of I'm giving you the schedule. We're going to be able to take our time and do it right. And I think that's where commercial work gets a bad name. San Pedro Creek, these murals that we're talking about, we were the critical path, right? Mm-hmm. We were putting up artwork with, a large investment by the community and city for these to be displayed as the showpieces on these projects. So we were the critical path. We weren't pushed on this. We had the time to dial it in and have it be exactly the way it was planned. Commercial restrooms, right? Sometimes they get a bad rep. Oh, the commercial well, guess what, guys? Y'all don't know what kind of pressure and screaming and grown men spitting in your face, telling you got to work 24 hours a day, or we're going to charge you $1,000 a day liquidated damages if you don't get it done by this date, right? Like that's what people don't wrap their heads around. They don't understand that compression and acceleration that goes along, and they get bullied. People get bullied in the industry and don't get compensated for it.
Right. I think that you bring up a very valid point. And, one of the conversations, and I love to stay as positive as possible about everything that I work with, the people that I work with. But I've had conversations, I do commercial tile, run those jobs as well. And I've had conversations with guys that I'm like, hey, you want to tap into commercial, and they do. And then all of a sudden I'm getting calls and, like, you fuck. And I'm just like, wait a second. Have you ever done this? That's right. And I always ask that. And so you bring up a really good point, because, not only does it put stress on us, we're working with a multi-million-dollar commercial job, the deadlines, the this, the that, and you can only do so much, but you have to stand in your power and you have to really know what you're getting involved with. So you've been a great mentor for some of those things too, because sometimes I'm just like, what the hell did I get into? But I love it. I've got that sickness as an entrepreneur, I love that organized chaos. I love it. And I can navigate through most of it. As long as it stays off Facebook groups, I can navigate through it. But
man,
that's such a great point that you bring up, is truly it is about critical path, and it is about, it's a lot of pressure. With that being said, so with all of the technologies and all of the tile installations and everything that you're doing to wrap your head around commercial, residential, how do you stay updated with the latest trends of those technologies, and that they truly influence your work, I would assume?
Absolutely. One thing that we do is we're constantly training here at J&R. So our partnerships are a lot to do with us staying abreast of the newest technologies. If there's a new product out there, I'm on the advisory board for several manufacturers. So our team actually gets to get our hands on some products before it goes to market to give them feedback. That's a great partnership, right?
Love that.
They send product, we give feedback, and these new technologies are always geared toward making life easier for the installer, for the contractors. So that's one thing. Another one is I go to all the shows, Cameron, you see me there. And It's not just going to the shows. It's not attending coverings, surfaces, Total Solutions Plus, right? We have other events like mud. We have the hybrid TASI, whatever. There's a lot of different events that you can always go and learn. But the important thing is to make the best use of your time when you're at the shows. Go to the technical committee meetings. You want to be taken seriously? Have your face start showing up at all of these events where people are making the big decisions, like changes in ANSI or the TCNA handbook, Tile Council of North America handbook, which those documents affect our means and methods of installation. Know the layest technologies that are coming out for approval on methods and standards. These, this is public information. It's all about how you spend your time. If we're in Vegas for surfaces and there's an NTCA board meeting or a technical committee meeting the next day, maybe not stay out till 4 a.m. drinking, right? Like, make the most use of your time, and make sure that you're a presence and you're there professionally presenting yourself as someone that is not just interested individually, but representing your company as a brand, right? That there's a representative. If I'm not going to a show, Trinity's going or Gus is going, and they're sitting in those technical committee meetings because we want to make sure that J&R doesn't miss a beat.
And I think that you guys bring up a really good point. When I first met you guys, we actually had a conversation about lighting. And, we really started talking about some great installation, the different techniques and things like that. And you were like, oh yeah, we're up for an award. And as soon as I heard that from you guys, like, I knew that you were people that I wanted to work with, because you were about quality. You were about representing yourself of being the best in the industry. And I remember I was like, oh, I'm going to come. And I show up at that award, and it was Trinity, and it was you. And you were just like, really? You should? And I'm like, yeah, I flew here because you guys are who it is. Your company speaks volumes, and all that you do speaks volumes. And being able to,
we sat at the same table.
We did.
Yeah.
And then we had steak. Well, I bought I think steak or something. I love Trinity. He is amazing. Anyway, the stories of just what it was that you guys were doing and who you were, and a woman in the industry. And it was like, you brought that passion, you brought that education, you brought all of the things that mattered. And exactly like you said, these trade shows, and there's a lot of people in this industry that they go to those trade shows and it's like a fucking vacation. And I don't get that. Like, I'm going just like I do whenever I go to Light Ovation or when I go to anyone, like, what's trending, what's happening, what's hot, who's, bringing in the next big thing of innovation. So
who's who, right?
That's right. And, anyone that's winning an award, I want to be hanging out with them.
Well, you do.
I want to know like what it is that is so amazing that they're doing. And I've seen that through you guys over and over and over again. So, Erin, talk to me a little bit about sustainability. And I know that we just went into innovation, but how do sustainability and environmental consciousness practices play a role with like your commercial projects or even some of the residential that you guys do?
LEED building qualifications, right? There's bronze, silver, gold. These building practices and energy credits that are given back are a big push, not just nationally, but here in San Antonio. We're I believe, 6th or 7th largest city in the country. Most people don't realize that because there's such other big cities in Texas, but we're still a pretty big one. So especially downtown on renovations or new construction, there are a lot of LEED, during the submittal process commercially, we have to be submitting products that meet certain LEED characteristics. We've also recently joined the U.S. Green Building Council as a member to try to get ahead of that curve. Right. So to answer your question, I think the biggest thing that we've done to aid in that for architects is teaching them the new technologies of gauge porcelain tile, because on remodels, we have a couple of case studies on this on ytile.com with the Tile Council of North America, some national case studies we've done right here in San Antonio on cladding existing lobbies of big Class A finish out commercial buildings with gauge porcelain tile with no demolition. So we have saved them hundreds of thousands of dollars, one project over $1 million, by preparing these old existing pink granite surfaces, which we have a lot in South Texas. It's quarried out of it's quarried out of a place about an hour and a half from here. So like the Capitol in Austin, the Texas State Capitol, a lot of pink granite, right? All of these big Class A finish outs in San Antonio, a lot of pink granite from the 70s and 80s. So we come in with gauge porcelain, which we know can be digitally inlaid to look like stone, concrete, patina metal. Like, we've done some amazing projects and worked with some very talented architects and designers on the finishes, where we have come in and executed cladding where it looks like an entirely new building and we had no demolition or downtime. That is, I think, a big missing component in construction right now. And I think if we had more architects that knew about it, we would see more of those applications on remodeling for LEED purposes.
Yeah, I think so too, because really with sustainability as well, it's like, how are we diminishing a little bit of that footprint? And so you'll see some architects, I'm seeing that a little bit in Miami now coming through, that it's like they're using materials that's less water, they're using materials that's a less electric, like they're just doing all of these like different things. But I mean, honestly too, in the lighting, the LED, we see it vibe mapping. Where are we getting more sunshine from an area that we can either go and do less, electric, or where can we lay out lighting that would do, just different things with reflected. And then you're seeing so much of it in the solar, especially here in Florida, but a lot of the sustainability through solar and what that looks like. And now we're even seeing in 2025 lighting fixtures that are coming out that they're all powered solar, huge fixtures. So, there's so much fun stuff that's coming through with sustainability and vibe mapping. But a lot of the architects, sometimes they just take the specification from what is old and it's rinse and repeat with these projects. And so when you have people like yourself or people on these boards, we come in, that's how I get most of my commercial jobs. Like, what are you guys doing? Why are we using this? And this is a Home Depot product. Yeah, no. And so I'll just show up, on the architect, I'm known for that, showing up. And now we, use all of our Laticrete products for commercial because it makes sense. It's saving
But as
time.
women, we have to have that assertiveness, right? We have to have that assertiveness. Go knock on that architect's door, educate them.
I do.
We have to, as women, we have to.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. So we're talking about trends too. So we know sustainability. It's all about sustainability. It's all about energy. It's all about light. It's all about how can we reduce that footprint. What are some trend shifts that you're seeing in commercial industry right now, and where do you think it's headed in the next 5 years?
Well, Gage porcelain tile has been around for a while, and if you go to any of the shows, all you see are slabs everywhere, right?
Yeah.
Just got back from Spain with the NTCA group. We were lucky enough to be invited. My wife and I, Jessica, went. You know Jessica. We went and
Yes.
went to the show in Valencia with some other 5-star contractors, and it's slabs. It's slabs everywhere. Everything is porcelain slabs, Gage porcelain slabs, right? Thin porcelain slabs. That's not going anywhere. We have to get these installers trained and educated on these products. It's not like installing regular tile. It's thinner. That you need certain handling tools, right? So that's an issue right now because there's a lot of people that sign up for it and break slabs, and then people don't want to do the job. Right. They disappear because they broke all the material. There's a lot of issues going on with that right now in the industry. I know that because of our other company we talked about, Cameron, Texas Tile and Stone Forensics,
right,
having to do inspections on these failures. Another trend that has already started happening, and I think we're going to see in the next 5 years, is modular building.
Oh, right.
Especially in commercial applications, right? Because like we talked about, that acceleration and compression, what you're doing in commercial, it's so difficult, is working in an uncontrolled environment. So if we can produce any of our, let's say, shower assemblies in our own shop in a controlled environment on flat tabletops, we can make sure the mosaics for the foam shower pans are perfectly placed. We can build all of these modularly. That way, when we get out to the shit show construction commercial site, everything's already cut. Everything is already attached to a waterproof backer board, right? If we're talking about shower systems. And we are just connecting the waterproofing to each other and chemically fastening to the bracing or studs, metal or wood. So that's one thing that we're seeing. My friend Dan Welch up in Michigan's already doing it. CTI #1. I am going under his little wing, asking lots of questions so we can get it started down here in San Antonio. We're really excited for that. And we're also traveling across the country to do more of these murals. Well, as you can see, they're not very easy to install. Everyone has to go in a very specific space. So we can also build these modularly here at our shop and then drive to the location with them assembled and grouted and just, chemically fasten and treat the joints with either silicone or grout for these murals. That way they'll be perfect. And you're reducing downtime, you're reducing risk, right?
Right.
Employee engagement will be higher. Nobody likes rubbing shoulders with the plumber and drywall contractor and painter on top of you while you're trying to install tile, right? Like let's try to build as much as we can off site so we can spend the least amount of time on site, because most of the time it's accelerated and compressed.
Right. No, I love that. Send me information about that. I need something like that.
I'll send you a great YouTube video.
Yes, do it. I love it. And we can share it on this too, because I'm sure there will be more people that would be interested in, kind of learning more about this. So this season 3 is all about breaking boundaries, women shaping the future of tile, women who are innovating the tile industry, pushing limits of what's possible, and leading areas just like you've talked about. So sustainability, design technology, and business growth. So everything that you just talked about in breaking boundaries, as a successful woman in a traditional male-dominated industry, how do you advocate for yourself and other women in this field?
Well, let me take you on a little field trip.
Thank you. I love field trips.
We're going to take a field trip. You know one thing that I do to advocate?
What?
I hire young women. So let's go peek on a couple right now.
Okay, while you're walking and doing that, I'm going to talk about Laticrete for a minute. So take us on the journey.
Put me in the back.
I will. Okay, so guys, why Laticrete, you ask? Because for over 65 years, Laticrete has built their reputation tile by tile. Their products are globally proven and trusted by professionals for their superior performance and ease of use. Whether you are working on a bathroom makeover, kitchen backsplash, or expansive commercial project, Laticrete offers installation solutions to make your vision come to life. From their ultra reliable thin sets, adhesives, and easy to apply waterproofing membranes to their durable and stain resistant grouts, they've got you covered. Imagine products that not only meet but exceed the toughest industry standards with third-party certifications to back them up. Laticrete, you get a peace of mind and solutions designed to stand the test of time. That's the Laticrete promise. And let's talk about their innovative SpectraLock Pro Premium Grout, which provides superior color, uniformity, durability, and ease of cleaning. It's stain resistant, so your products stay beautiful and flawless for years to come. If you are ready to start your next product, please check out laticrete.com to explore their full range of installation solutions, find detailed how-tos, and access their extensive resource library. You guys, I am super, super excited. Erin, welcome back. What you got, girl?
Well, we're out in our warehouse right now, which has been our stone fab workshop this week. And we have Brittany here.
Hi, Brittany.
Brittany is one of our apprentices. Why don't you tell them what you're working on, Brittany?
So we're cutting out 15 by 15 tiles from this slab for our client. And you know, it's never going to be perfect, but that's why we're going in and doing the detail work and just making sure everything's squared out on all sides.
How'd you learn to do all of it?
Trinity.
We love Trinity. That's amazing. I love it. I love it.
So we feel strongly about apprenticeship here. And Trinity, as you know, is an advanced certified installer in every category through the Ceramic Tile Education Foundation. He's also certified tile installer number 1144. I got it right this time. And the whole idea is we want Brittany to grow into that role of being a certified tile installer. So learning these skills and hiring these young women apprentices and by the way, I have to tell you, Brittany is a multi-talented woman. Sometimes we put her in the office and she just kicks total ass on helping us with estimates and anything else we may have office-wise. She hates being in the office. She doesn't want to be in the office.
Good girl. We love Brittany.
Brittany likes to be in the field. Brittany likes to learn. And Brittany prefers working with her hands. You know, all the skills that she's learning right now, though, could easily translate into an office role where she'd be a content matter expert on tile and stone. So any kind of experience I feel any woman gets, I'll put you over here. Any woman gets in the industry is going to make them a better content matter expert. And I think that's really the big differentiation between, you know, women and men in the field. Like if we can be content matter experts, you're going to automatically gain that respect when you're in a situation where you are the only woman in the room. Because if you know what you're talking about and you know more about your craft than anyone else in the room, you gain respect. They don't have a choice but to respect you.
Right. And I love that you just brought that up for advice for women looking to take leadership roles in the tile or the construction industry. You bring up a very good point, is like the education and the knowledge that you have, no matter what, no one can take that from you. You will always have that education and that knowledge to excel. Did we lose you? So guys, are we still there, Erin? I think I got you.
Still here.
Okay, good. So I love that you brought that piece up, though, at least for that education piece of it. So that really helped us kick off season 3 for how it's all about breaking boundaries and shaping women. And that's a great point that you bring up, because without that education, you have everything that you'll need to succeed in the industry. Even if if you are great with your hands or you're not, you can always fall back on those things. But being able to get into that field and get dirty, like Brittany is doing, she's doing that specific cuts and all of those things that she needs to do. That's what this is about. So I love that. Will Brittany be doing any of the CTI exam?
Brittany is not quite ready for her CTI exam, but Brittany is signed up for her advanced certified testing in grouts and membranes. Those are available to apprentices. And we have her and one other apprentice signed up for the advanced certification for grouts and membranes. So we're really excited about that for her. Experience in epoxy, sanded, unsanded, over porcelain, marble. Yep. Great caulker, which, by the way, an application of silicone is not easy. That is a big, big training, isn't it, Trinity?
Yes, it is.
Not everybody can do that, but we find women have a really great eye for detail and attention to detail. That's one of our core values at J&R Tile, right? Doesn't matter if you're male or female, you've got to have an eye for detail, because that caulking is something that winds up being on a punch list, right? Like that's the last thing you see on your way out, right? So that testing you have to use silicone on the changes of plane, and there's different grouting applications that you have to do in those tile assemblies. We're just waiting for a couple more apprentices to be signed up, and then she'll be taking her test. And then if she passes her test that I hope she's studying for, she should get a raise. Here's our other young lady, Kendall. Say hi, Kendall. You're on a podcast.
Hi, Kendall.
Hi.
What have you been doing
We
today,
have
Kendall?
matching hair. Look, we have matching hair. I love her.
Oh.
Look at that. This is Cameron. What have you been doing today?
Seeing those tiles.
That's right.
Dropping off these other workers.
Sealing these tiles. You know what
Very.
happens when you put white marble on a shower floor? What sometimes happens?
Oh, tell us.
It gets dark and changes colors and people freak out. So
Yes, they do.
she's putting an anti-contaminant back sealer on our natural stone prior to the shower installation. So we have a lot going on in this warehouse right now.
Yes, you do.
Run by
Trinity.
women. Run by
Yeah.
women.
That's right. I can't wait to see Trinity next time too. Hopefully the next time I see him, he's supposed to be making me a snakeskin belt for my hat.
Oh,
I asked him if it comes in leopard print pink. He was like, "Girl, it's snakeskin." I said, "I need a pink snakeskin."
It's real.
I
don't think we've seen a pink snake lately.
It's in Texas. I thought you all had all that kind of exotic stuff.
Boy, we do, but I haven't seen a pink one.
Well, Erin, it has been so amazing hanging out with me today, joining me today. Oh my gosh. Every time I talk to you, my mind is blown, and I want to be like Erin whenever I grow up. So I cannot wait for this to air and to see what else you've got going on in the future for sure. What social do you guys?
Thanks so much for having us. We are on Facebook, J&R Tile, Instagram, J&R Tile, JANDR Tile. Okay. And we just started a little TikTok, but I've got to put one of them in charge of TikTok because I'm still trying to figure it out.
Yeah, right. I know. It's all about that dance and that movement. So when you find out, you let me know, would you?
I will. And thank you for having me. And I think we learn from each other, Cameron. I have a lot to learn about lighting. I need to call you about a big old shower I'm doing right now. And, we're all better together.
For sure. So thank you so much for coming on today. And I will catch up with you real soon. Okay, guys, live from Texas. We'll see you next time. You guys, if you are interested in becoming a sponsor for Women of the Flooring Business, please reach out to podcast@womenflooring.com. You can also be part of the conversation at womenflooring.com, where we are interviewing people that are from flooring, tile, stone, designers, entrepreneurs, women in lighting, and so much more. And through this podcast, you know that we aim to amplify the voices of women in our fields and empower each other, like Erin is doing. We are flourishing in business, flourishing in life. Also, if you are looking for a CEU for your space and you want to learn more about lighting, you can reach out to Cameo Studio Designs, which is my company, which is for a CEU on designer dopamine. It's a continuing education for one full CEU. So become a part of the conversation. You can also log into WOFB on Facebook and, like I said before, Women of the Flooring Business. We thank you so much to Laticrete for being our sponsor, also for having J&R Tile on the show today. Erin is super amazing. And until next time, thank you guys so much for listening. And there are so many amazing women that are coming up for season 3. Last little rundown here. Season 3 is all about breaking boundaries, women shaping the future of tile, women who are innovating in the tile industry, pushing the limits of what's possible, and leading in areas like sustainability, design, technology, and business growth. A commercial tile installer and showroom owners. We can explore so many different approaches to leadership and how all of these women are changing the traditional male-dominated spaces and what the future looks like. So the next 9 episodes that we have women that are showroom owners, women that are leading showrooms, women that are in sales, so women that are in positions like Erin, just standing in power. So until next time, you guys, continue to flourish in flooring and flourish in life. I'm your host, Cameron. Bye-bye.